Hi, I'm Casey Begley. I'm the BDF Visionary and Creative Director, and this is Bliss Live Thursday night. Tonight we have Nikki Renojo, and we're going to bring her right on. Yeah, Nikki.
Hi,
Hi.
Casey.
How are you?
I'm tired. How are
I
you?
know, right? I'm good. I'm excited to have you here with us tonight. I love having your energy around me and to share that with the world. So thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Okay, we're gonna get down to business. Yeah. Here's my
Yes.
clipboard. All right, so everyone, this is Nikki Renojo, and she did a piece called "Work This Pussy." Yeah, I just said it. And her sexual superpower is her ability to seduce through movement. I can kind of feel you on that one, maybe. So work this pussy. Um, First of all, what made you decide on that title?
Really easy one. It was it was the name of the song, Casey.
But do you connect with that though? Are you working yours?
Am I working one?
Did you catch that? Okay, let me know if I'm pushing too far. This is the fourth night I'm doing this, so I'm like, whatever.
I'm a little shy, so I think I will decline to answer that right now.
That is a great answer, and maybe we'll ask you again later. But yes, feel free to just be like, Casey, no, I'm not answering that. You get to decide. Okay. So let's ask about your background. What is your background in dance?
Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. So, I started out dancing recreationally growing up, like taking ballet only once a week, a sad once a week. I totally wanted to do more, but like growing up, recreational once a week dance classes for quite a few years. And did I say ballet? I'm really tired. So I took ballet class,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I was in high school, I was on the song leading team, which is just like it's the dance team. The dance team, and we had pom poms. So
Mm-hmm.
we cheered and did halftime shows with the cheerleaders, but we were the dance team with pom poms. And then in college, I didn't really dance. And after college, okay, I was working at PayPal, and that was my first job out of college. I had an entry level job at PayPal, and I was really, really, really bored after work, so I decided to take a hip hop dance class because I'd never taken hip hop dance before, and I thought it
Mm-hmm.
looked cool. Like everybody, like I thought hip hop dance was like the Beyonce's backup dancers, like swing their hair and like, like I thought that's what
Yeah.
hip hop
Mm-hmm.
was. So I took Sergio Suarez's class at Ohlone College in 2000. I think it was 2007, and that class totally changed my life. Um, um, so Sergio, I didn't know what hip hop was, and we had Sergio, who back in the day, he was like a world renowned b-boy. Like he was like flown to France and had friends all over the world. So I took b-boy power surges hip hop dance class, and the first day of class was so funny because he brought in a turf dancer from Oakland who I it was Dav 2.0 of Turfine. No, not Turfines. I forgot. But he brought in Dav 2.0, and I don't think Dav had ever taught before. He was a turfer. He was like a street dancer. I don't know how PC that term is nowadays, but turfing. It's a street style. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Dav was teaching us, and and this class at Ohlone was full of. It was such like a mixture of students. There were some high schoolers. There were some people in their mid-20s, or some college students. And there were some older older folks. Like it was like a huge mishmash, but like the high schoolers and like the young college students, everybody was so confused. Like we were like, what is going on? Like we did. I don't think anybody had ever heard of turfing before, but so Dav taught us, and RJ was there, and RJ was trying to help facilitate teaching. Like he was trying to like break down the steps.
RJ
So
who?
RJ, cool Raul, RJ.
I mean, I know him,
RJ.
but our audience may not know him. It's
Oh,
nice
you're
to,
right.
yeah.
Yes, cool Raul, DJ B-boy, cool
Yeah.
Raul. So these were folks who were like staples at Aloni, like back in the day, like Sergio's crew, Beats and Pieces. All right, so first Dav taught, and we were all the like little kids in Sergio's class were so confused, and then because we all probably thought that hip hop dance was Beyonce backup sexy dancing. um, and then Sergio brought in Dennis Infante to teach us locking, a member of the DS players to teach us popping. Sergio taught us a little of b-boy, b-girling, and we learned various other street styles, and we did a little commercial choreography, and yeah, that was my introduction to the street styles. That was back in 2007, and at the end of the year, we did the spring show, and I invited my cousin to watch it, and she said, "Hey Nick, I'm taking hip hop at Mission College, and you
Ah,
should come. You should come to my recital because she came to mine." So I watched her recital, and her class was really cute. They did like an old school like 90s hip hop routine. Um, and then the next class they did some like locking on stage,
yeah.
like um and I was like, hey, we learned that in Sergio's class. Dennis taught us some like locking. And it was the first time I had ever seen locking staged before, locking on stage. And then Seach's, I wanted to name him later, a little bit later. And then,
Surprise.
and then the advanced class was the DS players, and ooh, they were so amazing. They were like the advanced class, like they were like the advanced lockers and poppers. They were Sichu's crew, who he trained. So they performed, and they were so funky. And I saw two girls do a funky duet. Michelle and Liz. They were doing like a funky like locking duet, like uh, females,
Uh-huh.
and that's when my heart just dropped to my stomach, and I was fixated in my chair, and I said, "That's exactly what I want to do." I said, "That's what I want to do." Um, so after the show, my cousin introduced me to. She was like, "Nick, come meet my teacher. This is my teacher. This is Seach." And I wanted to teach, and I was like, "I'm taking your class as soon as I can." So yeah, that summer I enrolled in Seach's class at Mission College, where he taught like locking and old school hip hop. And no, I think he taught locking. But I couldn't even wait, but to for that class to start. I went to Dance Attack in Los Gatos,
Oh.
or I forgot what other, or there were two dance attacks. I can't remember which one I went to, but I learned a little bit of locking from Juliet Pinto.
Oh,
Before
yeah. That's Los Gatos. Yeah.
before I started with Seach, and I trained with Seach that whole summer, and then I tried out for DS players in the fall, and I barely made it. He was like, "I'm on the fence about you, but if you train really hard, like you can come onto the team." And I was like, "I'm gonna practice every day so hard." So I remember being at PayPal, and like during the lunch and after work, I'd go down to like the little gym, and I'd be in the mirror like, a fuck. Um, and yeah, so I made DS players, and I danced and trained with. So on DS players, I joined 2008 or 9. I can't even remember. It's been so long. And that year was the year that Seach split up training. Seach used, and this is Seach Shu. If you do not know Seach Shu, like Seach trained basically like most of the lockers in the Bay Area. Like Lil B, shy guy. I think he taught Dennis. But teach trains up all the funky people in the Bay Area. um, um, but I'm so tired. I forgot what I was talking about. Teach. So I danced with DS players for a good like year and a half. And
Mm-hmm.
at this kind of at the same time, like maybe like a year later, Sergio was like, "Hey Nick, I kind of want to start like an all styles crew at Aloni. What do you think? Do you want to be on it?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm kind of busy with yes players." And I thought about it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm young. I'll just do it." And so Sergio
Yeah.
started Fresh Dynamics at Aloni College in around 2009. So I was one of the first members of Fresh Dynamics. So, and there was a lot of overlap between DS players and Fresh Dynamics. So at one point we were calling the two crews like FDSP, or we were calling Fresh Dynamics FDSP, like Dynamics DSP. um, FDSP. There were a lot of the same members, and I danced with them for a year. And then in 2010, I joined. I was really exploring because I had just started the street styles.
Mm-hmm.
I had just started the street styles in 2009, or 8. So I was like totally like going all over the place, like, and I saw that there were auditions for a new crew that was doing like house dance and other styles, and I was like, who are these girls? It was supposed to be like an all female identified company. And so I went to the auditions, and that crew was Mixed Ingredients,
Mm-hmm.
directed by Shinobi Jax and Samara Atkins. Um, so I tried out for mixed, and at first they're like, "You're like a probationary maybe member," because like I used to be, and I think I still am, like really shy, and yeah, I'm pretty shy, and I may not always appear the most confident. I'm kind of timorous, so they're like, "Hey, you're maybe." But there were so few people like around the time that they just let me on because I was working hard. And so 2010, I joined Mixed Ingredients. I was like one of the first members of Mixed Ingredients. And if you're in the Bay Area, you've totally seen how Mixed Ingredients has like grown over the years. We just did our 10-year anniversary, and that crew, oh my gosh, they've achieved so much. It's crazy. Like they were on TV they did a talk show. I'm so tired I can't remember the name of it, but they were on a talk show, and they were on KQED, and
I
they've done
remember this, right? Yeah. It was all over Facebook.
they're like super Bay Area famous. So
Mm-hmm.
they're super highly accomplished. I'm super proud of them. They're totally grown. But yeah, I was one of the original members, and all these crews were absolutely uh, essential to my growth as a dancer and in my
Mm-hmm.
journey. Like I would not have learned locking without Dennis. Dennis is like my dance father. He taught me locking, and I've been training. I trained with locking with Dennis for like several years. All right, and then to around 2011, I went off on like a further journey. I so this is 2 or 3 years into my street dance journey. I was in New York for like a year and a half only, and in New York, I ran into Princess Lockaroo. She had messaged me on Facebook, saying, "Oh, if you want to take some whacking classes, hit me up." But I was still in California at the time, so when I went to New York, I was like, okay, I guess I'll take Princess Lockaroo's whacking classes now. So yeah, I just messaged her, and she was right now she teaches at Broadway Dance Center and EXPG
Mm-hmm.
and Perry Dance and all the huge studios in New York City.
Right.
And she's world famous. Her phone doesn't stop ringing. People fly her all over the world. Spain, Kazakhstan, China. She's always in China.
So, Nikki, so what did you learn from locking, Princess Lockaroo? So I'm just getting that right now. So you learned locking you continue to train with Princess Lockaroo in New York? Is that right?
Oh yeah. So I started whacking in the Bay Area with Tiffany Bong. But yeah, when I went to New York, I was training with Princess Lockaroo, and she's world class. She's amazing, so
Yeah.
amazing, like one of the goats. So yeah, I learned whacking from her, and I have like just in my few years of dance, I've gone on like a sprawling journey, but I see that like my short history is like eating up time. Like Nikki has like my own history,
Mhm.
so and I haven't even touched on my sexual superpowers yet. So
So let's talk about that. Um, your sexual superpower is your ability to seduce through your movement. And what does that mean exactly? Are you talking about your dance movement? Are you talking about just the way you walk, the way you move, and you carry yourself? What does that mean?
okay, so like I said, I started off locking, which isn't the most sexy style. It's like it's quite like masculine. But when I started whacking, like when I started learning from recently he recently passed away, Tyrone Proctor. He
Mm-hmm.
was one of the original members of the original Soul Train gang. He was on Soul Train. I got to train with Tyrone quite a few times, and he taught us. He was like, if you're a little girl, like cover your ears, or because like he was like, virgins stay at the door. Tyrone like taught us how to be sexy and womanly. He
Mm.
required us to wear heels to his whacking classes, and he told us like several things. He was like, these are Tyronisms that must live on forever. Um, he said he was like, give it to them, but don't let them have it. Or like
Jeez.
um, what else? He was like, you want to look like you're having an orgasm while you're dancing. He was like, you want to make all the straight dudes in the room get boners while you're dancing, like just while you're dancing. That's what he told us. So from Tyrone, I started to learn how to be more womanly and dance like super sexily and femininely. And so that was the start of it. And Tyrone and Lockaroo is like Tyrone's baby. So learning in conjunction from them two, I definitely grew more feminine from whacking. And then I started dabbling in voguing and Vogue Femme like a long ass time ago when I was in New York around 2011. But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't my main thing. Like, but I moved back to New York 2017 for 2.5 years, and that's when I got into the ballroom scene in New York City. And
Oh, okay. So that kind of makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
I saw there was a lot of voguing in your piece, but then also saw basically um, your hip hop history, which is with the whacking and the locking. Um, did I see anything else besides? Was there anything else besides? Oh, you did the robot. So you did some popping and some waving, right?
Oh, in my piece.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. There was a whole slew of different kinds of genres within hip hop that I saw that you addressed, and I'm wondering, like, do those you put them all together in this piece, and this piece is about your sexual superpower. So are those dances your sexual superpower?
Oof. Okay. Um, that piece was it was primarily a Vogue Femme piece,
Mm-hmm.
and Vogue Femme is the sexiest dance I've ever seen in my life. When the when the paragons of the style are doing it, you can just see like, it's like, and they and my friends in New York even told me, they're like, just be pussy, you gotta be pussy, you have to be cunt. Like, it's ingrained in the language, in the jargon, and the culture. Uh, uh, if you look it up on YouTube, Vogue Femme, soft and cunt, it just
Mhm.
oozes sex, sex, sex. And like when you're doing Vogue Femme, sometimes you're even supposed to like mime touching your pussy. Like in the dance, they'd be like touch like
Mhm.
it's
Well, I
like
did you were petting your kitty. That's what I call it. I call it pet the kitty. And I saw you doing that and you're, touching your breasts and yeah. You were also making lots of different faces. And I know we don't have very much time left. How much time do we have left, Hannah? I'm not sure. But you did make different kinds of faces. We have 2 minutes left. Okay. So I just wanted to say that I was wondering about those faces. They were so sudden. Like in the beginning, you were very fierce with your eyes, and then suddenly you smile and you're being like cutesy. And are those just is that Vogue Femme right there? Is it to switch it like that quick?
oh no, that's just me.
That's so cute. I love it, Nikki. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? I think we are out of time, but I want to say thank you, Nikki, for coming out and spending time with us and sharing your history with dance and naming all those names. That was really important. I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Well, now we know about Nikki Renojo and we know about her history with hip hop and the Bay Area and New York. So that was really amazing. Thank you for coming out and watching Bliss live. And maybe we'll see you soon. I hope so. Bye.